I finally did it. I finally made a Guestsheaux video for Halloween. So, today I'm reviewing Spooky Buddies. And this film is so bad, it'd be an excuse to put on the furnace in the mid of an Indian summer hot day. So, let's review Spooky Buddies, which really does not deserve that rating. Roll the intro! So, our story begins in 1937. And if you do the math, this film came out in 2011 and subtract it 75 years later, and they do mention it in the film. But anyway, back to the story. So this warlock named Warlick, wow, rhyming name, has not been done before, is going to summon a Halloween hound with 5 puppy souls. Unlike some other horror story I heard of. Yeah, so, but before he can even do that, these 5 puppies have been tracked down by the police. And Warlick has to hurry up because he's a pansy. He can't use deadly magic for some reason. Oh, what a warlock! But is in mid-process of sacrificing all the souls. Also, it's so damn specific that it has to be 5 puppy souls with the same damn blood. The cops and townspeople have broke in, and Warlick does hold them off, but this little guy sneaks past him and tries to rescue his dog. Also, spoiler alert, he becomes something relevant to the plot later on in the film. But in the mid-process of the Halloween hound taking the final puppy soul and releasing hell on all Earth, so Warlick and the dog can take over or whatnot, the sun blinds the Halloween hound and he pansies out like a little bitch. That literal son of a bitch. So in mid-process, he turns, oh my god, the Halloween hound turned Pip into a forgotten character from Casper, Seeing is Believing. And that film's just as boring as this film. So we go to 2011. Don't worry, that has something to do with the film, and that's the only accurate thing. We cut to a field trip, and guess who's there? The owner of the Air Buddy puppies and the Air Buddies. Oh, now this film's gonna get exciting, isn't it? Nope, it's gonna get boring, and boringer as it goes. So as the crowd is speaking, they basically all, in fact, not a few of the pups, all the pups basically force B-Dog into going into the house and facing his fears and proving that the Halloween hound doesn't exist. You just know where it's going to go, isn't it? The plot's speaking itself. I'm supposed to do that! And one of the pups says Halloween hound 3 times. But before he's not about to quit, guess who scares it out of him? Pip, that bastard, scares him to saying, oh, it's the Halloween hound. And then it's confirmed he said the Halloween hound 3 times. Yada yada yada, Warlick and Halloween hound are free and whatnot. Let's just skip over the stupid stuff and whatnot, because I can basically explain it here without needing to show images. After the field trip, the kids, whatnot, go back to school, and there's a report due on Halloween. And one of the kids has forgotten. So what does he do? The myth about Warlick the Wizard and whatnot. He's a warlock. I don't care. I don't care at all. So, and then so he researches, finds Warlock's staff, and then he goes to the house to research and find more evidence, and Warlick is there, and then he turns 2 kids into rats. It's so basic I don't even need to show pictures! So after Warlick's free, he's completely freaked out about everybody's costume and thinks that the world has been already taken over by the underworld. And he acts like a total crybaby about it. But the real objective is to find the puppy souls, find Warlock's staff, and Book of Spells. so they can take over the world. And guess who the 5 new puppy souls are? The buddies. Wow. 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 Later on, our little bastard ghost, Pip, scares the living shit out of a trick-or-treater and then steals his costume. As a disguise. Hey, stealing somebody's outfit is okay if you're a ghost. That will totally be a sin. Then he meets up with the buddies again and scares the living hell out of them. So after a giant scare scene, the kids encounter the old man's house, who is basically Pip's previous owner. You think because it's not 1937, then the prologue happened, and he would be dead now. Any normal human with normal health standards would be dead at this point. No, he isn't. Realism! They do encounter the guy, but he tries to take Warlock's staff away, and they mistaken it as stranger danger. Hey, I would too if somebody tried to steal my lightsaber, but then I would cut them in half. My precious! So after that, Warlock comes back and, well, basically thinks about recruiting some mindless zombies to find his staff and book. He encounters some friggin' dude or whatnot who's basically trying too hard to be hip with the kids. And the film gets so basic that after that whole entire trying to acquire assistance or whatnot from that Frankenstein surfer dude, Warlock tries to steal the staff by hand, basically by rushing into the crowd of kids. They put up a good fight, and then he recruits the Frankenstein guy. So basic that I don't even know that I should show pictures or not for this review. But I'm going to do it anyway because I don't want to seem lackluster and basically the lowest type of critic out there. But hey, there's going to be a lot of bad critics wannabes out there. I'll possibly never be as good as the guy who's hosting this event. Anyway, after all that happens, he recruits the Frankenstein guy and it goes to a Halloween party. But before we get to the dance party scene, we gotta see what the buddies are up to first. They basically contact the medium to find out what's Pip's deal. And she basically says Pip wants his body back, and also he's trying to warn them about the Halloween Hound and whatnot, and how taking over the world and whatnot. Meh! And that's all her purpose is, basically to say, hey, you need to help this ghost or whatnot. I'm just here because I needed more minutes in this film to make it into a movie. But the Halloween Hound catches up with them when they go to the cemetery to get Pip's body back and captures them. So now we cut back to the Halloween party and whatnot. And guess who comes? Warlock comes and gets his staff back, turns a cop into a monkey, and then he goes back to his house and does the sacrifice thing all over again. But the old guy we encountered earlier that the kid's mistaken for stranger danger sorts things out and says that Warlock is going to, well, basically destroy them, and he and them are the only ones who can save us the world. So after that, Warlock finds out where his book is and whatnot, and exchanges a ransom. His book for the puppies. But basically, he has a plan up his sleeves to keep the puppies in the book. So later, we cut back to his house, and the two owners that have been turned into rats come and try to save the puppies by distracting Warlock by going up his pants and biting his legs. Or do they be biting his nuts? Ah! Watch your mouth. Warlock notices the mice, rats, whatever, and sends the Halloween Hound to go kill them. So after that, Warlock checks on the kids who have just arrived. And Pip also stepped into the house as well. And basically, Pip and the buddies make Warlick's owl minion turn on them and free them. And after Warlick comes back and checks on the puppies, and Owl betrays him and tries to scratch his eyes out, but the Halloween Hound steals the Owl's soul. So some big chase scene that lasts for a few minutes later. The puppies go into the kitchen, and the Halloween Hound tracks them down, and he found Butterball first. And guess what? When the Halloween Hound does that ghastly thing that he comes out of his mouth to eat souls, Butterball farts in his face and redirects the misty stuff into his face so the Halloween Hound eats his own soul. First off, Butterball's gotta be a cow to do that with multiple stomachs. And second off, how did the Halloween Hound eat his own soul? Does he have one? I don't know. That's how So, yeah. I am not going to even show clips for this. I'm not going to show anything else now. I'm going to explain it right here. So after that, the kids break into the house. The puppies are okay, whatnot. The kid who's dressed up as a wizard speaks a spell to reverse the effects and whatnot that Warlick's magic has, and the old man pushes Warlick back into the mirror, and after that, everything's okay. Warlick's magic and all the souls are returned, and then after that, we cut to, November 1st, which is All Saints Day. Pip's owner is going to travel around the country and bring all Pip's brothers and sisters back to their original owners. I had to break it to you, you're gonna die when you're halfway done. So that's the story. And what do I have to say about the story? Well, that was pretty bad. The story was basically clearly overdone and not cared for. So, what do I rate this story? Pretty much a 1 out of 10, because Disney could have done better. They made very good stories. They made well, not really. They broadcasted The Nightmare Before Christmas, and that was a better Halloween Christmas special than this crap. So anyway, that's the story. What do I rate the story? 1 out of 10, because this is Disney, and they can write better. Now let's move on to the animation. First off, there's not a lot of animation in this film because there's live action, but the animation for Pip is basically ripped right out of Casper's Seeing is Believing, and the animation for the two rat-changed owners is pretty lackluster. It's basically Alvin and the Chipmunks bad. Because, also, the lip-syncing tracker thing for the animal's mouths when they're speaking looks like a human saying it. Because basically, if you look very close at this owl, his beak is not just moving, it's also the size of his face, like lips. That's not how owl mouths work. The beak only moves. And that's about it for the animation. The animation gets a 0 out of 10. Because no animation whatsoever. And the only animation was basically made in a short amount of time. It looks like there was no effort put into it. But 0 out of 10 for animation. Also for the technology used for the lip syncing tracker, that gets at least a 2 out of 10. Because it works fine on the puppies and whatnot. But for the owl, it basically makes his whole entire face move, if you look very closely. Basically, I think they were all like, they're not going to notice this. But hey, at least I noticed. So, animation gets a 0 because there's not a lot of effort put into it. And lip-syncing thing gets a 2. Now on to the characters. Let's talk about the buddies first. They're all stereotypes. Butterball, who is in the center of the camera, is basically the fat kid who likes to eat. That's about his character. B-Dog is a stereotype street kid who uses slang from the 90s that nobody uses anymore. This film was made in 2011. Rosebud, who is on the left of Butterball, it is basically a finicky girl and spoiled brat who cares about fashion more than anybody else and gets finicky when dirty. Also, likes to push people's buttons. Mudbud has no redeeming qualities in this film. The only thing he likes to get dirty. And Boo-Dog, I don't get his name. It's a fake Buddhist. This character insults the most popular religion in the world. Also, the pup's owners are basically the exact same thing. Every other character is shallow as hell. The only actor that was trying in this film was Warlick. He looks different from everybody else. Also, the acting in this film is pretty bad. It sounds like I'm watching a Disney sitcom. You know, that's basically 24/7 on the Disney Channel nowadays. So, the characters are stereotypes. They get a very low rating of 1. Because the only character that was trying was Warlick. Like, he was different. Right. Also, the acting, it gets a 3. Because, hey, at least they sound annoying, but at least they're tolerable. So, what do I rate this film? I rate this film a 1.5. Spooky Buddies was made by Disney, and we know Disney for a lot of good things. We know them for Beauty and the Beast, Atlantis, Milo's Adventure, I think. That was the name of the film? And a lot of other films, not counting Frozen. That's one thing I will review later. Yeah, so basically, all the Buddies films and this one are basically worse than Frozen. Everybody gets a 1.5. I'm Silverfox1232. I always win. If you made it this long into the video, oh, guess what? You're rewarded with cute puppies. Actually, it's just one puppy, and he's 3 years old. Puppy. Puppy. Who's a good dog? You a good dog? Pedro? You a good dog? Yeah, you a good dog. You say hi for all the people out there? How? Anyway, this has been Silverfox1232. Spooky Buddies is a bad film. I would only recommend it to kids at least 5 to 3 years old. So, I always win. Bye.